Greetings, class. Welcome to Duel Academy. Professor Rivas here, and this will be the first lesson of your third class in your raw yellow term. Master Rules, Past and Present. Master Rules. If you haven't already, please make sure you subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell to be up to date with the latest Duel Academy lessons and assessments. So without further ado, get your deck, get your game on, and let's get started. The purpose of this class is to understand the series of rules that was applied to the OCG to bring structure to the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! It's now time to go back in time to the Yu-Gi-Oh! DM and GX era, before Master Rules were in effect. Back when summoning a level 5 or above monster was known as a sacrifice summon, and the monsters used to do it were known as sacrifices. Back when the slot on the bottom left corner on the field was known as the Fusion Deck Zone, and back when there was no deck limitations. Let's dive deeper. Although we now know it as a different name, the same rules still apply to perform a sacrifice summon. Level 1 through 4 monsters require no sacrifice, level 5 through 6 monsters required 1 sacrifice, and level 7 and above monsters required 2 sacrifices. This terminology can even be heard in the Yu-Gi-Oh! Animes of the time. Back then, the only type of extra monster that was available was the Fusion monster. Therefore, those cards were placed on the bottom left corner of the field that was known as the Fusion Deck Zone. That's why if you ever come across an old playmat, it may say Fusion Deck Zone on the bottom left, as opposed to Extra Deck Zone. Before Master Rules, there weren't necessarily any deck limits in terms of the maximum amount of cards one can have in certain types of decks. When it came to the main deck, there was a minimum requirement of 40 cards, but no maximum limit. For the Fusion deck, one can have 0 cards in the deck, but like the main deck, there was no maximum limit. And for the side deck, it had to contain exactly 0 or 15 cards. Not having a limit on the main deck or Fusion deck posed a problem when one duelist decided to join the 2007 Yu-Gi-Oh! German National Championships with 2,222 cards in their main deck. You heard me right, 2,222 cards. With a deck of that size, searching and shuffling the deck was practically impossible to do in a timely manner. Thankfully, the Master Rules would come into effect the following year. The year is now 2008, and the Master Rules come into effect, introducing the Synchro mechanic, as well as terminology changes and deck limitations. With the dawn of the 5Ds era, the Master Rules came into effect with the release of the 2008 Starter Deck, which introduced the Synchro mechanic to synchro summon the brand new Synchro monsters with the help of tuners. The Starter Deck included new Synchro monsters such as Junk Warrior, Gaia Knight the Force of Earth, and Colossal Fighter, while also including the new tuners such as Toon Warrior, Water Spirit, Junk Synchron, Magna Drago, and Frequency Magician. There were also terminology changes. Sacrifice Summon became Tribute Summon, Sacrifice became Release, and with the release of Synchro monsters, Fusion monsters had some company, so the Fusion deck became the Extra deck. These changes were also reflected in the Yu-Gi-Oh! Anime. Deck limitations were also placed for the Master Rules. The main deck minimum stayed as 40, but now had a new maximum limit of 60. The Extra deck minimum remained as 0, but with a new maximum of 15. Finally, the side deck now ranged from 0 to 15 cards, as opposed to the old limit of having either 0 or 15 cards. Thank you so much for attending this class. There will be a quiz in this lesson, so don't forget to take it. I hope you have a great day, and class dismissed.